In today's video, we're going to talk about JavaScript arrays. JavaScript arrays are basically an object that we can use to store more than one value. And the way objects work is that we can access certain properties of it using dot notation or methods. That is something you will see later in the video. So now let's say you wanted to store some user information. Information like what type of devices people use. Usually you'd create variables like I've done over here and then assign each value for that device. And if you wanted to add more devices, we would just continue creating these variables for each device, but this would end up being really long if you have something like 50 devices or more. This is where JavaScript arrays come in. They can hold many values under a single name. The way we would declare an array is simply by starting out like any other variable, then we give it a name that we'd like to, so I'll use devices, and then we use the assignment operator, and then we use square brackets, sorry about that, and then a semicolon at the end. This is basically an array literal, which basically means that we have created a list and each item in that array will represent an element. All we would need to do now is enter the device names we want to be here, separated by a comma. So the first device that we have on our list is a PC, and then we use a comma, and then we got a mobile device, and then lastly we just got a TV. Now what we can simply do is log this to our console by writing console.log, and then over here we write our array name, so it's just devices with a semicolon, and if we save this, we should see our array printed on our console over here. And what I want you to take notice of is that we have an arrow right here next to the word array. Over here, this also lists the amount of items we have in our array. The only difference is that our first item starts at 0 and our last one ends at 2. This is known as an item index, and they determine the position of our items. Whenever you want to start counting in an array, you always start at 0 and then go up. And the last property that you see over here, this length one, is known as an array method, and basically tells us the length of the array. So instead of printing the whole array out like we've done over here, if you wanted to print out the first device, what you have to do is use square brackets over here as well, and then write out 0. And if you save this, it should print out PC. The nice thing about arrays in JavaScript is that they are dynamic, meaning that they can change anytime while your script is running. You can basically add, remove, and change things in your array or use different data types. If you're unsure of what a data type is, I have a video that should pop up right now where I'll go through data types and what they are. So if you wanted to add another item to our list over here, all we need to do is write our array name, so it's going to be devices, and then we write the number 3, so that's the next item. Then we use the assignment operator, and in here we can just write console. Now if I save this, you should see that we have a total of 4 devices now instead of 3. In the same way that you would add an item, if you wanted to replace an item instead, all you have to do is write the position of the item you want to replace. So we'll write 0, and if we save this, that should replace our PC in the first item. I also mentioned we can include different data types. This basically means that we can mix strings and numbers in one array. So all we need to do is write 3 over here, and then instead of using quotation marks, we just write a number like 1 or even 4. Now if I save this, you should see that we have 4 as a number in our array as well. If you are coming from another language though, you know that this would cause an error. Now for this section, we will just go through a few methods that I mentioned earlier. An array is basically an object. An object in JavaScript have certain properties we can access and other methods as well. In this case, I want us to find out what's the length of our array. So all we need to do is go to an array name and then we write the dot. Then over here you can see what other methods we can actually use. What we're looking for is length. So now if we save this, you can tell that it prints out 4 over here because we have 4 total items. There is also a method for removing and adding items to an array. They have a term of their own, which is known as popping and pushing. The best way to remember the difference is that when popping an item, you pop it out of the array, and when you push an item, you push it into the array. The item that is being popped or pushed will go to the end of the array. So basically, if you wanted to pop an item in our array, all we need to do is quickly just remove the length method, and then over here, we would just write dot pop. Now what will happen is this will remove the last item in our array over here. As you can see, we've only got 2 now instead of 3, the TV is gone. And if instead we wanted to add an item, all we need to do is change pop to push, and then we write the item over here, so I'll use console again. And now if I save this, we should have 4 items again. There are many other properties you can access along with other methods that arrays have. But I think that's about it when it comes to an introduction on what JavaScript arrays are. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and were able to find it somewhat helpful and informative. With that, I'll see you guys in the next one.